Edwards spent a short time on work experience at the commercial radio station Swansea Sound, before joining the BBC as a news trainee in 1984. In 1986, he became parliamentary correspondent for BBC Wales. Between 1994 and January 2003, Edwards presented the BBC 6 o'clock news. During this period, this was the most watched news programme in Britain. In January 2003, Edwards became the main presenter of the 10 o'clock news on BBC One, the corporation's flagship news broadcast. He has also presented various special programs such as the Festival of Remembrance. He led the BBC commentary team at the opening and closing ceremonies of the 2008 Beijing Olympics, 2012 London Olympics and 2014 Commonwealth Games. He has presented several election specials, including coverage of the 2007 National Assembly for Wales election for BBC Wales and also the BBC coverage of the results of the 2008 United States elections and the inauguration of Barack Obama. He was formerly chief political correspondent for BBC News, and spent more than 14 years reporting politics from Westminster across a range of BBC programmes. Edwards has also presented or contributed to a range of other BBC News programmes, including Breakfast News, 1 o'clock news, Newsnight and Panorama. Since April 2006, Edwards has presented the newly established BBC News at 5 on the 24-hour BBC News channel. On 29 April 2011 he presented the BBC coverage of the wedding of Prince William and Catherine. Middleton. The coverage was watched by 20 million viewers at peak in the United Kingdom and the team won a BAFTA award for best coverage of a live event. In June 2012 he presented the BBC coverage of the Diamond Jubilee of Elizabeth II. In May 2013 Edwards took over BBC coverage of local elections from David Dimbleby. He presented a special news report for the BBC following the death of Nelson Mandela in December 2013. Edwards shared the BBC's 2015 general election coverage with Dimbleby and contributed to the coverage of the 2016 EU referendum. In May 2018 he shared the presentation of the BBC coverage of the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. In 2019 he succeeded David Dimbleby as the host of BBC election night coverage and was the lead presenter for the general election coverage on 12 and 13 December 2019. In April 2021, he presented the rolling coverage across BBC One, BBC Two, BBC News Channel and BBC World News following the death of Prince Philip, as well as funeral coverage on 17 April. Udharan Chinn. In August 2021, Edwards said that he was contemplating his future, stating, "Now that a big milestone is here, which is 60 years old, it's natural for a man to think, am I going to continue in this job for another 5 years? Or do I want to do something different?" Udharan Chinn. He told BBC Radio Cymru, the nightly news business, "After 20 years, that can be taxing, even though I still enjoy the job. But I don't think I'll be doing that for long. Because I believe that, in the first place, I think it's fair for the viewer to get a change." On 8 September 2022, it fell to Edwards to announce the death of Queen Elizabeth II, presenting rolling news coverage from around 1400 British summer time following an announcement from Buckingham Palace earlier in the day. He later presented the BBC's coverage of her state funeral on 19 September.